News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. And there's your closing bell on Wall Street on this Thursday. It's cautious there ahead of the jobs report, which may impact the Fed decisions on interest rate cuts. Stocks dropped after earlier gains, with Tesla falling 17%. More on that in just a second. We do bring you the closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 lost 31 points. NASDAQ down 162. The Dow lost 108 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.39%. The 2-year yield at 3.93%. Tesla shares 14% lower in regular trading after President Trump threatened to end Elon Musk's government contracts and subsidies. That's no small thing. Government contracts are a main source of Musk's wealth, as Tesla and SpaceX have benefited from federal contracts and subsidies worth $22.5 billion since 2000. And he said today at the White House he was disappointed with Musk when he lashed out against President Trump's tax bill.
I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Musk responded to the threat, saying, quote, "Without me, Trump would have lost the election." Later, he alleged, without proof, that Trump's name appears in the files related to the late New York financier Jeffrey Epstein, who was accused of sex trafficking underage girls. The White House did not comment on the accusation. Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow has more on how this relationship soured.
When Musk left Doge, Sergio Gore, this official, as our sources explained it to us, and others within the White House, basically, who are not fans of Elon Musk, saw Jared Isaacman as being closely associated with Elon Musk. We can get into that, and moved to influence the president to cancel that nomination.
Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow explains Jared Isaacman was nominated to run NASA. He had close ties with Musk, who runs SpaceX, which works with NASA. Isaacman suggested his nomination was withdrawn because of his relationship with Musk. Download the Bloomberg Business Week daily podcast to hear that entire conversation. Other stories we're following: President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping have agreed to further trade talks. President Trump says he'll be headed to China soon.
He invited me to China, and I invited him here. We've both accepted. So I'll be going there with the First Lady at a certain point, and he'll be coming here, hopefully, with the First Lady of China.
Trump made the pronouncement during a bilateral meeting with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, where Trump noted that Germany is spending more on defense.
I know that you're spending more money on defense now. I'm not sure that General MacArthur would have said it's positive, you know? You understand what I mean by that?
I understand.
He made a statement, never let Germany rearm.
Trump making a reference there to World War II. He then said he thought it was a good thing that Germany is spending more on defense, quote, to a point. And Trump said Harvard University is starting to behave after his administration imposed new sanctions, including restricting foreign students and researchers. Trump wants Harvard to provide more information about its international students. Harvard has responded with lawsuits against the White House. NATO member states have signed off on the military alliance's most ambitious military ramp-up since the Cold War. NATO's Secretary General Mark Rutte.
We agreed on an ambitious new set of capability targets, and this is so important. These targets describe exactly what capabilities allies need to invest in over the coming years.
NATO defense ministers met in Brussels to formally adopt the so-called capability targets, including a 5-fold increase in ground-based air defense systems capabilities. The latest read on the labor market has jobless claims at their highest level since October. Bloomberg's Michael McKee with the numbers.
Initial jobless claims come in at 247,000, so a slight rise from 239 the week before. This is a rise. It sort of goes above the bar that we've been trading under.
Bloomberg's Mike McKee. Circle Internet Group shares surged as much as 235% after that company and some of its shareholders raised nearly $1.1 billion in an initial public offering. The company's USDC stablecoin had about 29% of the market as of the end of March, with about $61 billion worth of the token in circulation as of May 29th. Microsoft shares hit a record $468.51 per share. The software company is the first of the Magnificent Seven group to fully recover losses from earlier in the year and rally to a fresh high. The European Central Bank lowered interest rates for the 8th time in a year after inflation dipped beneath 2% and the economy suffered repeated blows from U.S. tariffs. But in the U.S., Kansas City Fed Chief Jeff Schmidt says the impact of tariffs on the economy is uncertain and will take time to become apparent. He says Fed officials are waiting to see how trade and other policies play out before making making decisions on interest rates. Philadelphia Fed President Patrick Harker agrees, saying the economy is resilient and officials should maintain a wait-and-see approach until there's more clarity on tariffs. He supports keeping the rate steady. Fed Governor Adriana Kugler says she expects larger price increases related to the tariffs and supports holding rates steady if upside risks to inflation linger. The next Fed meeting is June 17th and 18th. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg.